Greetings and welcome to this tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to configure an IPsec VPN between a public Debian server and a FRITZ box using strongSwan. Before installing anything, we first check the UFW firewall status. Here, we need to make sure that the required IPsec ports, UDP 500 and UDP 4500, are allowed. Next, we check the installed Debian version. After that, we update the package repositories to make sure that the latest available package information is loaded. Now we install strongSwan and the required additional plugins. strongSwan will manage the IPsec connection between the Debian server and the FRITZ box. After the installation is complete, we check the IPsec version to confirm that strongSwan was installed successfully. Next, we check the strongSwan service status, enable it to start automatically, and then start the service. Finally, we use ss-tulpn to check the listening ports and run the IPsec status command to confirm that strongSwan is running correctly. Next, we create an IPsec loopback service. This service assigns the virtual IP address 10.60.0.1 to the server's loopback interface and restores it automatically after every restart. Next, reload the systemd daemon so the server recognizes the newly created IPsec loopback service. Then enable the service so it starts automatically after every reboot. Start it manually for the first time and check its status to confirm that it is running correctly. Next, create a DNS name that points to the public IP address of the Netcup VM. This gives the VPN server a stable host name that can be used by the FRITZ box. Before changing the strongSwan configuration, create backup copies of both the ipsec.secrets file and the main ipsec.conf file. This makes it easy to restore the original configuration if something goes wrong. Next, we create the Netcup IPsec configuration file that will later be imported into the FRITZ box. This file contains the VPN connection details, including the Netcup server hostname, the virtual IP address, the FRITZ box network, the connection identities, and the encryption settings. After that, we configure the strongSwan ipsec.conf file on the Debian server. Here we define both sides of the tunnel, the local and remote subnets, the authentication method, and the encryption proposals supported by the FRITZ box. Finally, we edit the IP secrets file and add the pre-shared key. The same key must be used in both the strongSwan configuration and the FRITZ box configuration. Next, copy the configuration file from the server to your local computer using SCP. Before importing it into the FRITZ box, replace the username in the file with your own FRITZ box user. Otherwise, the import will fail with an error. Now we prepare the folder structure required for Traefik and the Wildcard certificates. First, use mkdir-p to create the dynamic configuration folder. This folder will contain additional Traefik configuration files, such as middlewares, TLS settings, and routes to services running in the home network. Next, create the Let's Encrypt folder. This directory will be used to store the generated certificates and the ACME account information. After that, create a separate secrets folder for the Netcup credentials. Keeping the credentials in separate files is safer than writing them directly inside the Docker Compose configuration. Inside the Let's Encrypt folder, create the acme.json file. Traefik will use this file to save the wildcard certificates after completing the DNS challenge. The permissions of this file are important. Set them to 600, so only the owner can read or modify it. Traefik may reject the file if the permissions are too open. Finally, create the Netcup credential files. Add the Netcup API key, API password, and customer number or user ID to their corresponding files. These credentials allow Traefik to temporarily modify the Netcup DNS records and verify ownership of the domains before issuing the wildcards. To get these values, open the Netcup customer control panel and go to the API settings. There, you can find the API key and API password. The customer number, which is used as the Netcup username, is shown in your account information. Copy each value into the corresponding secret file and make sure these credentials are never shared or uploaded publicly. Dynamic folder. The wildcard configuration file defines which domains should receive the wildcard certificates. Next, we create the Docker compose file for Traefik. Before starting the container, check the configuration carefully and replace the example domain names with your own domains. The file defines the Traefik container, the required ports, the mounted configuration folders, the Netcup secret files, and the certificate resolver used for the wildcard certificates. All commands can be found in the video description. Once the file is ready, start Traefik by using docker compose, followed by the -f option and the full path to the compose file, and then run it with up-d. After starting the container, wait a few moments until Traefik is fully running. Then check the container status to confirm that it is up and healthy. Next, open the Traefik logs. The logs show the DNS challenge process and whether Traefik was able to communicate with the Netcup API successfully. On the first start, Traefik requests the wildcard certificates from Let's Encrypt. Later, it checks the certificate expiration dates and renews them automatically before they expire. Watch the logs for certificate or ACME related errors. Problems at this stage are usually caused by incorrect Netcup credentials, DNS propagation delays, or an incorrect domain configuration. Once the certificate request is complete, check the acme.json file inside the Let's Encrypt folder. The file should no longer be empty, which confirms that Traefik successfully received and stored the certificates. Avoid displaying or sharing its full content because it contains sensitive certificate data. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we will configure Traefik to securely publish applications from the home network using HTTPS and our wildcard certificates. Till next time, like, share, and subscribe to the canal.